young Vancouver fighter favored to win a Canadian title. And the sport, International Kickboxing Championships at Simon Fraser University next weekend.
Kickboxing is a tough sport. You might say a brutal sport. And they say Vince Murdocco is about as tough as they come. He grew up in East Van, Commercial Drive, Little Italy. But if you get the impression Vince Murdocco was a tough street kid, forget it. Did you ever get beat up here?
Yeah, once I got in a little fight when I was 12 years old, Italian Day. Kind of got beat up over here. Yeah, behind the building. Two big guys came up, started pushing me around. And me, I couldn't do anything. It's too small. You know, I was kind of overweight then too, so.
He doesn't look all that chubby in his childhood pictures, but what's important is not how he was, but how he saw himself. What kind of kid were you?
Fat kid. Pushed her up. I was kind of fat, ugly. No one really paid any attention to me. You know, they always liked the jocks, but I wasn't a jock at all. I was more funny. When I was a little chubby, I was funny. I'd be the class clown. I'd get in trouble for everything. I'd imitate teachers, imitate a priest. Got suspended for that. Going down the hallway, blessing everybody, stole the priest's collar. I got into a lot of trouble.
Vince was protected by his parents. They drove him everywhere. They kept a tight rein on his social life. When he dropped out of school, Dad gave him a job here at the family espresso bar.
East Vancouver, pretty rough neighborhood to live in back then. Now it's kind of mellowed out, but you know, the schooling was tough, and they wouldn't let me go out by myself. Even with friends, couldn't sleep over anybody's house. Even now, I can't sleep over.
Doesn't matter what I tell him anyway. I tell him to come home at 2 o'clock, he comes at 4 o'clock. I tell him 4 o'clock, he doesn't come at all. I tell him stay out all night, probably he's going to be there at midnight. So I can win anyway.
It was here in the espresso bar when Vince was 17 that things changed.
I met a gentleman, I think it was 3.5 years ago, right here. And he came in one day and he was kind of scruffy looking. And I made him a sandwich and he says, yeah, I'm from New York, I don't have much money. So I said, hey, listen, have a sandwich on the house, right? And he told me, well, you know, you being such a nice guy, I'll teach you martial arts. And I figured it's time. I didn't want to get pushed around anymore, especially in front of girls. It's kind of embarrassing.
That first trainer is now out of the picture. But through him, Vince found he had a natural talent in Taekwondo and moved up quickly through the rankings. And his puppy fat turned into muscle.
Once I started, I lost weight really fast. I liked it a lot, so it was like a natural sport to me.
Murdocco took his experience in the martial arts and moved to kickboxing. Within a couple of years, he's become a contender.
Vince's technique might not be as good, but he could beat people that have great technique just by the fact that he's so tough. You wouldn't know it from looking at him because he's, such a handsome man. But he's really tough. You could hit him with a baseball bat and he'd still be standing there and just be twice as mad as when you first hit him.
In fact, Murdocco has lost just one fight.
I've lost once, but I thought I won. So it was more or less the judges. So if I know I won, if the guy's better than me, then I'll hats off to him.
At 21, Vince has done well in kickboxing. Not only is he close to the top in Canadian amateur ranks, he's starting to make a name for himself internationally. Vince will fight in Paris this summer, and he's just back from Japan, winning a bout in a country where this kind of fight is big time. But as I said in the beginning, kickboxing is a tough sport. So what about those protective parents?
I think I am very nervous. I am nervous on him that when I watch his fights, I don't stay there all the time. I go for a walk because I'm too nervous.
She freaked us all out. She was, from what my dad said, well, she was all quiet, and she didn't want to look at all. Then as soon as I got on and first kick and punches her, she changed. It's like, kill him. I was getting out there. She was really, done something to people. So my dad had to calm her down. She was going through that.
Well, I would like to hit that person, but just to be able to protect his mother again, I would probably want to be in front of them. But when he starts something, he'll go all the way. So I'm not really worried about him.
But did Louise Murdocco really raise her middle son to be a kickboxer?
A champion? I figure all my boys should be champions.
And what motivates you now?
Canadian title. That's a big motivation. Just to see if I can be the best in Canada. Then maybe the world later. But right now, just Canada. Big dream.
How big a deal is kickboxing today? Is it accepted generally now as a sport?
Yeah, it's becoming bigger. It's actually an older sport than boxing, but it dropped because of the danger involved with the kicking. But it's back in vogue again.
Has Vince ever used his abilities not in a sport, as in to defend himself or anything?
I asked him that, and he said no. It's part of the discipline and the respect involved in the martial arts, and it's something that you just don't do.
I don't think he'd get asked too often.